their way into the person's abdominal cavity to mature into adults and mates. The males die while the females begin to migrate down to the person's legs. About a year after their unfortunate sip of water, the infected person will notice a painful burning blister forming where the female worm has come to the surface of their skin. To try to relieve that pain, they stick their blistered foot in the water. The female then releases her larva from the skin into her pump. The cycle begins again. What's left behind is a meter-long worm that must be slowly extracted over the course of weeks by winding her body around a stick or a piece of gauze, being careful not to pull too hard. If the worm breaks and can't be fully moved, it can cause incredibly painful inflammation and potentially secondary infections. And this horrifying sequence of events has probably been happening for a long time. We know it's been happening for at least 3,500 years because the method of extracting the worm by winding it around the stick is mentioned in Egyptian medical writings called the first papyrus. And just over 500 years later, we have physical evidence the form of worms preserved inside a mummified liver. It's even potentially been represented visually with the worm emerging from the thigh of a saint in a painting on altares in southern Italy dating to around. The guinea worm disease used to happen in at least 21 countries in Asia and Africa, from Pakistan to Senegal, with an estimated 3.5 million cases in 1986. But in 2024, it only happened in 2 countries, Chad and South Sudan, for a total of just 15 cases. And I think it's pretty safe to say we'd rather it happen than none at all. This is the journey we've been on simply. Quest to get rid of guinea disease permanently, which is possible. Humanity eradicated 2 pathogens of smallpox and rinderpox. We have caused a permanent reduction to 0 of the worldwide incidence of infection caused by them as a result of deliberate efforts such that the intervention members are no longer needed. And that is what eradication means technically. So these viruses are not actually extinct, because they do still exist as samples in labs, as frozen embryos of sort. Yes, the Soviet mutate viruses are alive in the first place, which scientists don't. But we have stopped their reproduction, making them functionally extinct. For the moment, we could choose to pause their extinction by destroying those samples. And both of these viruses were good candidates for eradication because they do 3 things in common. First, they were easily detectable. The symptoms of smallpox were obvious and distinctive. Lab tests existed to confirm rinderpest once the animals started to show some disease. Second, there was an effective way to stop their transmission with vaccination. A vaccine against smallpox was even the first vaccine ever to be developed that didn't exist. And third, there was no source of these viruses in the wild that would reinfect newborn animals once eradication was achieved. The guinea worm doesn't fit this profile. It is easily detectable, at least when the worm started to emerge, but there is no vaccine, and its larva exists out there in the rest of the world. So, why do we think we can get rid of it? And since we're not dealing with a virus here, but an organism that's a member of the animal, aren't we talking about eradication, or aren't we planning an actual extinction? The first question is actually relatively easy to answer. We know how to stop transmission. Whether we can stop all transmission is a different story. Stopping transmission starts with preventing infection. Clean water either needs to be provided to people with otherwise having infection of contaminated water, or the contaminated water needs to be filtered, treated, and getting from our public health education is also important. As is the local buy-in is critical for creating and enacting plans that are likely to work in that specific place. In cases where a person is already infected, and treatment is critical. There are particular criteria that have to be met for cases of pain. They basically come down to identifying patients quickly, making sure they receive proper care and medication, and treating all potentially contaminated water sources to kill any one of them. But there are some complications. Once thought that this species of getting only infected humans and only drinking contaminated water. And this might not be true after all. It turns out domestic dogs and cats and some raccoons can also lay those 2 worms, making containment harder, though not impossible. This is mostly a problem in domestic dogs and cats, they become infected by eating raw fish or other aquatic animals and can transport them, but aren't hosts that the worms and insurance. Keeping domestic dogs and cats in areas of getting them infections from them really has been the strategy for containment for challenges. But say we were able to stop all getting infections, maybe our dog would have made it a reality in all those countries. This brings us back to the second question I asked earlier. Are we talking about eradicating a disease, or are we planning the extinction of an animal? In this case, I'd say both, and the disease is going to go first, but not by much. Guinea worm larvae can only survive in water for around 3 days without a host, and can only live inside of the total population for about 2 months. Assuming perfect basic containment of humans and animals, within a month, there would be no more larvae or infections from the planet. Only remaining individuals inside of the in about a year, or form the final emergence. The larvae carried by that worm could be released into something in the water, reducing the size of the worm and making removal from its species. As long as that bucket is dumped on dry ground far from water sources, that will spell the end of the larva. Guinea worms have to be alive while they're being extracted, so there would be a moment when was removed from its host. The end of guinea clear win for time. But what happens to the worm itself? We couldn't find any accounts exactly what happened after the worm was extracted. One source just said the worm is discarded. Presumably it doesn't live long after the change. I'm not sure if it's tried to find it. But that is the thing we have planned for the hypothetical guinea worm again. And this is perhaps the first time we have planned out an actual global extinction. There's certainly no common lessons. Sparrow, but in those cases, we were trying to prevent them. We've also got rid of species from places like screwworm and marin for now. We're planning to do it again, like with house arrow, seeds, predators, this is called extermination. And some biologists have proposed causing the extinction of certain seeds carrying mosquitoes, never actually gone through it. Guinea worm, though, getting really close, and what it means to bend to a particular climate something. Ultimately, evolution and extinction are two of the biggest forces that shape life, and our fight against the guinea is part of both. Guinea worm has evolved an incredibly complex life cycle that requires multiple hosts from all time. And we humans have developed behavioral countermeasures using our big brains technological capabilities that are also products of evolution. This is, in a sense, a classic example of confidence, conspiracy, and its close. The only difference is that we just have to be participants. Think about our business. And still in the Harry Potter studio that was made possible by the hundreds of you who supported our experts. Thank you so very much. Let me put down the Johnson. I'm sure the drum I'll return it to its family, and that's how I get. This whole button is the firmware is able to interact with USB controller with the microphone. With that critical vulnerability with the microphone system, allowing it to completely control the microphone stereo address. We're talking about USB display, a new export for the iPhone's controller, Spectrum 812 13 devices that was just published by researchers in Paradigm. In this video, we're going to look at how this works, discuss the technical details of the vulnerability. Several months back, one of my viewers sent me a stream. It's a guy who read pictures of dead. One of the tastiest restaurants I had ever been to was closed down to a health inspection violation. The restaurant had over 4.5 stars on Google, overwhelmingly positive reviews, and apparently even had a few furry pets running around in the playroom.
When you think of basketball video games, traditionally you might think of retro design.
On December 2nd, we released our third person game, Get to Work. Our base game is about climbing the corporate ladder with roller blades that rewards you clean jumps, smooth lines, and precision, and punishes, well, pretty well every mistake. But during our development, playtesters kept saying one thing: I can't wait to see the speedrun of this game. And holy, they were right. The number of jaw-dropping, brain-busting strats the runners came up with during our speedrun competition beyond our wildest expectations. This is the story of how speedrunners broke our benchmark Get to Work. Now, before I dive in, this video contains a ton of spoilers. So if you plan on playing the game, I'd strongly suggest trying it first and coming back to the fifth. You've been warned. Here we go. The goal of Get to Work is to reach the top. Start in your parents' basement, work your way through various jobs, and end up as CEO. Now, Get to Work is a hard game. Even the first section of the game, which is used to teach you the main mechanics, causes you to struggle. And as you progress through the game only gets harder. And harder. And harder. And if the 8% of people actually beat the game, it usually takes them anywhere from 8 15 hours. Credit is due at all big streamers. Ludwig beat the game the fastest in 5 hours and 15 minutes. And let me tell you, even as the dev of the game, that's an incredibly impressive time. But speedrunners are built a little different. Day 1 was the Wild West. See, we were holding a speedrun competition for the fastest times after days 1, 3, and 10. And on day 1, no one had seen or played the game, so everyone was really just trying to get a feel for the mechanics. Oh, did you see it? Oh my god! The warehouse manager on fine! Woo! Game for the first time and get a good first run. Dan Corona, a variety streamer known for speedrunning Coco stuff, was one of the first runners to submit a competitive time. Context, Dan beat the game for the first time in under 3 hours. 3 hours! Like I said, speedrunners are built different. Now, this run has no major skips, but actually it's a good baseline for all future runs. This is the entire run from start to finish. To make it easier to digest, I've split the run into 6 major sections. These sections each have multiple checkpoints, which is what you can see in the built-in speedrun timer being included with the game. The first section of the game is flying for jumps. It's meant to be a massive arcade with very large, forgiving jumps. Once you land your first view, you're in the pendulum section. These little swinging platforms are called pendulums, and if you hit them at the right angle, they launch you nicely into the air. Individually, this is good timing. They're pretty easy to hit, but as we'll see in later runs, chaining them together is very hard. Dan does it at a casual pace, but completes it with no mistakes, and ends up as a warehouse trainee. This section is relatively straightforward with here in the year of 2025, there is one thing. Here in the year of 2025, there is one thing every or RGB. And as it turns out, it's for the magic of TikTok. You don't have to spend all that money. Here in this box is a $500 gaming PC. It claims to be able to handle over 150 FPS and CS. Let's open it up and see what it can really handle. And as you can see, this is an Ace Magic PC. If you've seen these PCs before on the channel, then you know they can be very small. They also may or may not have some sketchy malware installed on them, so we'll see what this one has. We got our PC right on top. It's so cool. You can see the fan in there. Hold on. Wow, look at that. And a light button. You see what that does on the side? Oh, we got our annoying little sticker. So back to setup, avoid Wi-Fi or LAN initially. Connecting might trigger long update. Oh wow, they really want to make sure we don't do that. Working warning for faster settable man. It's the same thing. They cover the Ethernet cable with this. But at ports like, why? All right, I'm gonna go and plug this thing in. We'll turn it on, see what it can do. Just go ahead and hit the power button. 3, 2, 1. Well, we got a light on the front. Oh, baby, we got lights on the top. Look at all these RGB. Let's go. Now remember, we have a light button here. Let's go ahead and hit that. I love that. Or you can just turn it off. Cool. Oh wow, we actually have a setup screen. This is maybe sketched PCs from China, and they're just on a desktop with a bunch of pre-installed garbage. Looks like it's checking for updates right now. It's exactly what they were warning about. I guess I still have to wonder, what was it about the updates they don't want me to see? Oh, they don't want it on the PC? Oh, maybe this is it. It needs one of those like really big Windows 11 updates and stuff. That's alright. I will come back when it's done setting stuff up. Alright guys, I am back. As you can see, we are on the desktop here. I set some stuff up already. It was a bunch of boring Windows install stuff. Really nothing to worry about. I've got some games to install, but let's just start with like looking at the PC itself and seeing if they have any like apps pre-installed that I didn't do myself. Looking at program file 86, I don't see anything obvious here. Firefox, Steam, that's it. And yeah, pretty much the same story in normal program files. Also check the installed apps on the PC itself, and yeah, pretty much a bunch of Microsoft what we're pre-installed on every Windows. Yay! Now I did install something here, malware-wise. I mentioned it a few times now. I remember actually this application. If there's a better thing I could use to scan for viruses or whatever, let me go down in the comments. But this is what people online recommend. Run full scan. Yeah, let's give it a try. No threats detected. Claim. Tap on defense. There. Get out of here. Section 471. I assume that's good. Well, as far as malware is concerned, I guess the PC is good to go. It's actually kind of shocking. Originally, I also set this thing up with Wi-Fi, but I brought over the Ethernet because it didn't work after I used. Let's use the toothless test here. You know, this is really command. Oh, baby, we're getting near 5 gigabit speed. That's fantastic. All right, that was the Ethernet test. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the Ethernet here, and we'll test out 5 gigabit. About 430 to 500 for the download upload situation. That's completely reasonable over 500. Perfect. All right, next up, I'm going to test a few games here because on the listing they have specific claims for the kind of FPS you can expect across a variety of games. Let's start out with Witcher 3 here. They say on the website the station is able to handle 45 FPS. I'm right now. I again, when you're thinking about it, no, online game, I'm not saying don't do it. That's at a 1080p. We'll see if we can do 60 FPS. Full settings. Alright, here we are in the game. Looks like I'm chilling at 50 FPS. Not perfect, but let's see if I can play around with the settings a little bit and get us up to 60. It is about 45, like the listener said. Yeah, let's just use the Steam Deck instead. See what that thing. Oh, nice. That gets us up to 60 FPS. So, probably pretty low settings altogether, but I think this is fine. Perfect is just updated. Oh, and also, guys, I looked into like what this optimally thing can do. Apparently, it's just for external DPUs, which is sick. Theoretically, you can get the performance of you seem to be way higher to one extent. Now, let's see what happens if I really crank this. Witcher 3, pretty epics. There we go. Ray tracing. Can this GPU, CPU even handle ray tracing? Oh god. Ooh. What did that say? Sub 30 FPS? 20. 20 FPS. That's something. It still looks like absolute fun. Like a little like this is horrible. That cinematic quality motion thing is so sick. But yeah, I mean, I'd say the listeners plan on paying 45 FPS in Witcher 3 for the accurate. Let's try out Counter-Strike. It said 155 FPS. I don't play Counter. So I have no context if that's good or bad, but we're gonna find out. When we're on the main menu here, it says 40 FPS. Alright, I'm just gonna put the game on low settings. Okay, doesn't look very good, and I'm only seeing 120. Also hitching quite a bit. And lower the settings even more? Not really, honestly. So I don't know where they were getting 155 FPS. In a normal game, 120 FPS is totally fine. Just to people need 500 FPS minimum. I don't know. Take those numbers what you will. The game performance on this PC is not amazing, but not terrible. Alright, last thing I want to test on this PC here, we're going to run a spin event. What kind of scores we're looking at. Oh, by the way, I guess I never really went over what this thing had. I don't want to know. Anyway, this thing has a Ryzen 7 8845HS with 780M graphics. If that's good, let me know down below. I have no concept. It's got 32 gigs of RAM, which is pretty good. terabyte SSD. I'm gonna assume that's an M.2. Yeah, it says NVMe SSD right there. That's fantastic. Let's start running the actual, what's the voltage for? I think that thing said it had 16 threads, so. Alright, it's been running for like a few minutes now. It's probably gonna sell around this board. You can see it right there. It's scattered on the list of CPUs they have there. It's in like a 750-ish range. Okay, guys, I think it's time to stop playing around. We go a little nerd mode on this bad boy right here. I have a wide environment for loads of me. We're going to throw it on this PC right here, test out a game or two, and see if we can improve the overall performance of it. I haven't tested this. It might not even work. Let's find out together. Alright, as you can see, I am moving into our very Windows XP looking BIOS here. Have to change our little drive for a USB stick we got plugged into the front of the PC. Dude, we need a penguin. Oh, baby, there we go. Okay, guys, we are up and running inside of one. Look at it, it's all working right. It's the missile, but look, things are happening now. That's we're doing that's the same game. And see what happened. Okay, and just like that, we are in out of your menu. I'm trying to walk around and look at this. I'm on the Steam Deck preset. Now we're trying to run pretty good so far. Just like last time, I'm doing basically 50 plus FPS, almost 60 sometimes. We haven't been around very oh, you know what? One side of it, yeah. Why is that like my better? Possible it hasn't changed rapidly like a little bit, but I guess that's a good moment. It's slightly less cinematic quality motion. Don't really get that. Anyway, so what's the pretty mostly the same? Let's go ahead and move on to comics like this. See if we can get something cool for that. 155. Yes, what we saw on the list. Oh, that's not a good sign. If it works, oh no. Oh, because we're in 4K. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, have it now at NEP with the lowest settings I can go. But we turn to the lowest settings, now it looks like lowest. Oh, it looks like a 4K. That's cool. There we go. That's more like it. That looks better. And in terms of performance, we are still not getting 155, so I have no idea where they got that number from. I got it. Oh! You know, what if I go over to this area and look directly into the sky? Look at that. Guys, you are probably 170. Oh, baby, performance city out here. I'm going to go ahead and shut this PC down, and we're going to open it up and see what's going on inside. All right, let's start with these large silver screws on top here. I assume if I take these off, I can just get the top of the PC at least. Maybe get the RAM, hopefully. Or maybe the fact that they're like these weird star screw bits indicates that I'm not supposed to open this first. I don't know. Oh, sure enough, the top just comes right off. Well, right in there. There's the fan. I don't see anything, like, in terms of the PC itself. I can't really easily access anything from here, but I can flip it over. I already took all the little rubber feet things off of the corners, and I can just use a Phillips head here at the bottom of them. Oh, there we go. A little annoying to get this bottom part off. But anyway, now that I do have it open, you can see we have a fan here connected to the bottom of the PC. And most of the stuff you'd ever care about messing with is right here, easily accessible. Basically, here's our RAM right here, our 32 gigs of RAM. Normal laptop size memory slot here, so very nice to see that. We have two M.2 slots. This one right here, I'm assuming and then this looks like an adapter that's going to that output that we saw earlier. There, we can use this adapter to connect external. Yeah, this is a pretty cool looking PC. No malware, somewhat reasonable price for once or two. Most importantly, it has the RGBs. It's actually good. You guys will have to look it down in the comments. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want to see another video we did on the Case Magic PC before, look at the video right there. It was on a Starship PC. That thing was wild.
Gonna give that a download. Boy, think you're a tough guy, huh? You don't even have a weapon. That's a lot of VRAM. I believe I have bricks to be installed. Holy crap. I think this is probably the best this map has ever run. Why does it look like Chappie? Oh, do I have a weird one for you guys today? It's got antennas. It's got a touch screen. It was made in August 2018. Oh, and oh, brother, does it have gaming ports? I just remembered the screen is down there. Oh, whoops. That's not a good sign. USB triple, LAN 1, LAN 2, RAM POM port. Do not remove. Removes the do not remove. Looks to have revealed a prepubescent HDMI port. Below that is a real HDMI port. Audio in, out, that one. And now What do we have here? I hate cereal. And what the heck is this? Actually, that thing. Yes, it is a 3.5mm jack. But why is he over here? Wait, did we with his buddies? Come on, we abolished segregation. We're better than this. So clearly, we got ourselves a wacky boy today. And it appears to open from the top. What's inside? I don't even have a name for it yet. Alright, what's the first text I see? Pax Gear by Highland. What's inside? The Pax Gear by Highland. Aww. You know what this looks like? It's a little baby Sega ball. It's got that whole little metal bar thing going over the thing. It looks just, there's a family resemblance. That's all I'm saying. This actually is really heavy. This is just steel, like 3mm thick steel. I spy a crappy SSD. It is a 128GB serial ATA flash drive. Okay, Pacer. Seems to be a pretty compact little dude. We got an itty bitty little exhaust fan, an itty bitty little CPU cooler, some kind of device over here that's kind of just sandwiched onto the side of the computer. Oh, actually, there's two of those. Oh, this is the aux thing. Is that another? Another aux port inside the computer. What the heck, dude? I also spy a Wi-Fi card and Bluetooth. I take it that's what the dangly bits are for. I think it's just mini ITX. The most bizarre mini ITX board I've ever seen. Oh, and I can't not mention the absolute... I don't even have the adjective for this. Alright, it's coming out. So, do you game? Yeah, it's not with an interface like that. All-in-one HD video capture. Okay. So it doesn't game. How interesting. I'm not even going to pretend to know what's going on here. I think that's like a, what's it called? ENC connector? Usually you see that on like CRT PMs, but it's labeled as an SDHD3G SDI. This shit ain't nothing to me, man. The DVI port is labeled HDMI DVI RGB. Now this video is devolving into alphabet soup. I know these two. Not sure about the RGB A2V. And then the serial looking port does, I'm guessing, composite and component and S video? Okay, that's pretty cool. However, yeah, good luck doing anything with it. I'm guessing there's an adapter that this needs that I don't have. Looks like you can do up to full HD 1080p 60. Hey, that's not bad. Wonder if it's worth anything. If it was the quad HDMI one, yeah. No, we don't even have one HDMI. I mean, you can feed HDMI through this, but not audio. I wonder how old this is, or if there's even like a driver available for it. Well, maybe if I needed to, I could even write one of my own if I spent enough time learning programming with the sponsor of today's video, Boot.dev. Learning to program is hard. It uses parts of your brain that, as a gamer, you probably let rot away to make room for things like... But why does it feel so hard? Well, maybe it's because you're trying to learn out of a textbook or watching some dude's 10-hour unedited C tutorial on YouTube. Maybe the way you're trying to learn is boring you. The smartest way to learn to code, or to learn anything really, is to stay engaged with the material by making sure you're never bored with it. That way you can stay motivated and stick with it long enough to reach your goals. You can't gain coding skills and knowledge without working on real projects and actually writing a lot of code for them. Boot.dev integrates key mechanics from the gaming world, like XP levels and achievements, to keep you engaged and excited to keep learning. By completing interactive lessons that teach you things like web development with languages like Python and Go, you gain valuable coding skills while kind of just feeling like you're gaming. Go to boot.dev and use my code Bringus Studios to get 25% off your entire first year when you choose an annual plan. Oh, look at that. Look at how cute that is. I'm gonna stand my RAM up vertically like a real computer. 4 GB of PC3. Wasn't this made in 2018? Yeah, that's when Coffee Lake came out. Or actually, Coffee Lake came out in 2017. They switched to DDR4 and 6 again. Okay, so this thing was not cutting edge, not even for 2018. God knows what kind of edge that makes it now. What is the opposite of cutting edge? Dull edge, I suppose. I hate this particular antenna. Not wobble. Not in this house. Oh, I didn't notice it before because I wasn't looking at it from this angle, but our mystery aux port device is actually a USB stick. What the heck? Allow me to free you from your bindings. To thank me, you can now owe me your entire life. Get scammed, idiot. X keys XK-3 USB switch interface. Oh. This looks like something you would have plugged into the original Xbox to, like, jailbreak it or something back in the day. It's from Pi Engineering. Quote, the no slogan company. Okay, what does that do? Easily convert any switch coder to a keyboard, multimedia, or mouse? I think you literally just put a button or switch, like a physical switch, into there, and then this will just register that as, like, a keyboard press or a mouse click. Oh yeah, look at that. If you got one of those aux ports that's like the microphone one where it's got like 4 sections, you can put 3 switches on this thing. Okay, that is extremely niche. Thank you, X keys. But now the real interesting part is the screen on the front. How does that work? Guess we just gotta turn it on and find out. It came with this fairly horrific power cable. Dear God, look at this thing. You know what would be kind of sick is if it lit up. If it light up. What's going on here? Why is there light out of it? It doesn't go into the receptacle. Well, I guess we'll never know if it glows. Unfortunately, this whole thing is powered by a power brick that just goes to a DC jack straight into the motherboard. Don't expect crazy performance. Alright, let's see what she do. Oh, it's straight to BIOS. Alright, we're not messing around. Take it, you can't. No, okay. Well, hold on, let me put the drive back in. I have no idea what this thing was pulled out of, where it came from, anything like that. If the eBay seller that sold me this is a good boy, he'll have wiped the SSD, but they don't always do that now, do they? Oh, this one did. Looks like we need ourselves an operating system. I want there to be at least some hope of getting the touchscreen working on this thing, so we're going to use Windows. Wow, I am realizing just how atrocious this is going to be to film. Just hold that up, why don't you? God, that scared the crap out of me. Actually, why don't we do a little perusing? What do we got in the BIOS? Yeah, literally none of that was interesting. You know what is interesting? i5 4400E? What does E mean? As far as I can tell, it stands for extremely shit because we only have 2 cores. Maximum CPU speed, 2700 megahertz. CPU speed, 3200 megahertz. You're really just gonna bust through the perfectly white screen like that? Typical Windows behavior. Whoopsie. Alright, show the card that says 1 Rufus later. So while that's installing, I figured we're going to want a bigger SSD for all the gaming we're about to do. You know, it really does feel like a King Chucksing kind of day. King Chucksing SSD at 163.com. What kind of a domain is 163.com? Yeah, that checks out. Choose your featherweight champion, Game Pacer or King Chucksing. No matter who you pick, we're bound to lose. I'm just a King Chucksing going through this life trying to find his Queen Chucksing. Now that we have quadrupled our storage, let's get an operating system. Bonjour, nouveau. Machete. That was a very weird Windows installation. I don't remember it being like that or looking like this. And while we wait for that, let's figure out the story behind the packs here, why don't we? Oh, dude, I got scammed. This one is way cooler. Look at that. Bro. That one's 4K. I don't think mine is 4K. I don't even think it's close. We're lucky if it's 720p. Well, that one's got a spinning knob. Dude, I got the bad one. Oh my god, no I didn't. That's the bad one. No screen, only optical media. No, miss me with that one. Okay, this is the only official document I can find for this thing. MDR Video Touch from Highland Healthcare allows you to capture videos and images from visible light modalities. Well, that's exactly what I thought this did. Yeah, I got nothing. It is a healthcare doohickey, a gizmo, if I may. What I want to know is, where's the caveman? What I want to know is, does the touchscreen work? Hey! That's why we use Windows, kids. To be fair, I don't know, it might work in Linux. We'll all find out. No! What was that, like, degenerate CPU that was in this thing? i5 4400E. I wonder if I can change the brightness. No. But anyway, the 4400E means that our graphics is Microsoft Basic Display Adapter. Yeah, that's not right. Hold on. Need the driver. Intel HD Graphics 4600. Sounds pretty fast. What is this icon? Go away. Oh. How do you get rid of this? Gonna give that a download. What if I just default it? Aha! Never again will I ever learn about this picture. Just how I like it. I have installed Steam. It is not going too quickly. I imagine those 4 gigs of RAM are not really affording us very much of, well, anything. And okay, dude. Well, I just so happen to have 16 gigs of DDR3 right here. I will admit, the vertical SODIMM slots, they're a bit goofy. They don't feel great. I feel like I'm going to do the thing that the person in that one gift does, where they just obliterate the RAM slot. Wow, okay. Yeah, that was incredibly unsatisfying. The user's password must be changed before signing in. No, I don't think it does. That's what I thought. Alright, 16 gigs of RAM. Now it's a gaming. Now surely this thing should be able to play Half-Life 2, yeah? Although Half-Life 2 did just get a big update, and we could switch back to the older build. But what was it that I said a couple of videos ago? It's not screaming. It's not in agonizing pain. I feel like if I don't get my torture fix, I'm going to have to move on to torturing something else. And torturing people is not legal. Yeah, I choose torture. Highest everything. Classic effects disabled. Well, and the menu thing for ants again. I want to show you guys a trick. Oh, hold on. What is going on? I forgot I had the ear rape mod on. Okay, that should help. I did it! Looks like I'm gonna board that train to Nova Prospect. You think you're a tough guy, huh? You don't even have a weapon. I can bother you all I want. And ironically, the one with the gun doesn't even have the balls to try and push me. How far back does this go? To exactly this line, which is about this far away. That is significantly deeper than it needs to be. Nothing like a no draw to brighten up your day. Anyway, we seem to be getting a cinematic experience today. Very original Xbox-esque. What if we made it hurt just a little bit less? Maybe not 8x MSAA. How about 2? Alright, we gained like between 10 and 20 FPS. That's pretty significant. How about something like B? 90 FPS? Okay, so we just didn't like the resolution, really. Alright, this is pretty good. Not bad for a dual-core E chip with no GPU. Now, I'm trying to figure out which of these two is going to be more painful. I do not even think we're going to get this one to launch. So, we'll try that. Yeah, I figured. What about this one? Oh man, is it trying. That's a lot of VRAM. I hear the music. Hello? Alright, we're gonna try this fix from Mr. Death XB. Apparently this is just a thing that happens. You gotta make a file called doom config. Dump in the magic words from the magic man, change it to .local. Oh, look at that! It actually got in! What the heck, dude? You're not getting off easy today. Intel HD graphics 4600. Okay, we're gonna go to the 720p. FXAA, motion blur off, overall quality low. We'll call that good. You know what? 16 FPS, I have seen worse. However, just because I've seen worse does not mean that I do not want to once again see worse. Overall quality, ultra. Please don't crash. Come on, you're only on 10 gigs of RAM. You can allocate some more, come on! It appears to be bound and determined to not do that. Alright, bye-bye. I believe I have bricked the install. I restarted the game to go and set the graphics to like high or something that's not ultra. And nope, he's done. He has decided that this world is no longer for him. Rest in peace, Doom 2016. I'm sure this will be so much better. Wow. I'm scared to click anything. Close. Wait, it's not dead yet. Wow. Okay, there's Task Manager. Okay. We need to get these settings turned down pronto. Alright, 720p. Everything low. Oh, crap. It's already there. Heatsink is already off. Oh, no. Okay, never mind about 720p. We're going to go to my favorite resolution. 320 by 240. Alright. We're ready to play. These are just like ancient runes on my screen. Just the full screen button? Yes. Okay, we are gaming. Holy crap. What a loading screen. You know, something tells me we're not getting in game. Oh, jeez. Holy crap. Windows just breaks down at this resolution. I can't even close the game. Task Manager won't open. We get to the desktop? What? This is over here? I don't think I've ever seen Windows more broken. Can we get back into Steam? Nope. No? What is this bar? This is like the taskbar, but a floaty one? Can I close it now? Nope. No? This is amazing. I'm astounded. What if we just exited all of Steam? Oh, we can't get to the button to do it! Hold on, if we started a different game. Please just don't launch to it, though. Okay. I don't know if it's going to be doing much of anything. We're just going to go and hit the extremely large restart button. Whoa, it was so big! Well, now that we have seen the true wonder of the Pax nearby island, I am truly wondering myself. Is this it? Is this the best we can do? I'm sure you're thinking the same thing. You're like, hey, dumbass, we're only 19 minutes into the video. It can't be over yet, right? I'm not shit around this time. Whoops. Oh, dude, this connector is so... so much better. I made a couple of discoveries. So this board in the back here, this is like a speaker driver. I think it was kind of like an off-the-shelf thing, considering that 3.5mm jack is still there. This is like where you plug in your headphones on a set of guest speakers. Obviously, you could not do that in this, but these things on the side were black boxes. These are speakers, and no, they're not actually at that. I'll have to play them for you guys later because I'm stupid and forgot that I unplugged everything. But this thing can go, the left speaker may have to get relocated. It depends on how snug the GPU will be. This is gonna have to get one slot ain't enough. Well, actually, we could use one slot. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that. This fan is fine. We should be able to reuse the front I/O, and hopefully, we can reuse the screen. The screen is tricky though. So that was the connector for the screen, and not only is that completely destroyed, it went into this bizarre port on the old motherboard. LVDS? Yeah, that's a new one to me. That's whatever. I'll figure it out. For now, I just want to make sure that we can get this board. Man, we really lucked out. It just uses a standard audio interface, standard fan headers, standard USB connection, standard front panel. As bizarre as this thing is, it really hit the PC. It just kind of smells like MRSA. Holy crap, this is a heavy unit. Nice, little buddy, nice. You're in? Ish. I think between this monstrously huge backplate on the back of the motherboard and this cable here that runs along the bottom to the speaker, there's not enough clearance to put this in. That's okay. Leave their wires routed. Surely not me. Alright, one more time. Perfect. It's like a match made in sterile heaven. Okay, now, the GPU. I'm gonna take the bracket off for now, just so we can get it inside. Thank you, PNY, for this incredibly accessible screw. Wow, this just sucks. I want to try and cheese it. I think it can be done. Come on. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. Oh, not on the motherboard. I guess Linus knew what he was talking about when he wanted long blades on his screwdriver. The longer blade portion of it. Okay, now that we are bracketless, please tell me this will kind of just work. No, this is in the way. For your service pedal tab thing, I'm just gonna need you to lay low for a little bit. Okay, how about now? Oh, it's so close. I appreciate the work that you have put in, little random antenna. But if you could just go quietly, I think that'd be best for everyone. We're gonna have to put something there now. When life gives you a hole, naturally you gotta put something in it. Alright, are we good? Yeah, we are. Oh, uh-oh. So, yikes. I figured we were going to have to extend the lid anyway, because, where was this supposed to go? Remember, it originally didn't need a power supply. The board just had a DC input jack, so we got to make room for this whole thing. Luckily, it's SFX though, so it's very tiny. Look at this, dude. It's a power supply for mole people. It's going to be tricky though. I can't block the cooling fan. Oh man, wouldn't that be convenient? Look at that. Look at how perfect that would be. Oh, and we gotta find the power cable somewhere. Ooh, I didn't even think about that. I have 3D printed a lid. Power supply bolts onto it pretty nicely using a couple of brackets. Those are cut out right here for the GPU. There we go. Very nice. So those are gonna both stick out just a little bit, but I think it looks kind of cool to be honest. GPU power cable is going to route through this hole. I haven't really tested to see if there's enough clearance between the bottom of this and the top of that to actually cool the thing, but we're getting there, Got some more problems to solve first. Alright, try and follow along because things have gotten kind of weird. Hey, remember the speaker driver? That uses a floppy power connector. Our Corsair power supply is not going to have a floppy power connector. In order to power it, we are going to be pulling 5 volts from the front USB port. I'm not going to try and show you all that, but just know that the power is coming from where that's connected. We can't just use 5 volts, you also need 12. So we're getting 12 volts from this yellow wire, which is connected all the way over here to this adapter. This is just the 8-pin CPU power cable coming from the power supply going to this socket. The socket is also providing 12 volts over here, which is going to our LCD screen. This is a disaster, but you should be able to see there's a green board in there. In theory, that green board should be able to drive the screen from an HDMI cable. See, look at that. We got an HDMI cable plugged into it right here, which is running out the back to the GPU. Apparently, this is all theoretical because I have not tried it together yet. I don't even know if the screen's going to work with this board. I just got it. I just put it in. But, let's find out. Please don't blow up. I find it funny how I can do all this stuff, but I can never remember the orientation for the front power I/O. Okay, now we're good. Nope. Oh, no signal. Okay, well the screen works, but does it get video? Oh, you know what? I might have to change the input. The little button bar, like the buttons on your monitor, you know? I gotta change the source, I imagine. HDMI. Oh god, there it is! Yes! Oh my god, I'm so happy. Okay. Let me get this all buttoned up, and then we'll do some real gaming. It is almost there. Weirdly, there was a lot of rewiring I had to do with the power button. Both the power button and the reset button's logic was inverted. They pretended like this was always being held down unless you pushed it in. They were both doing that. So a lot of cutting and soldering was involved. That's taken care of. Let's see, did I get this right? Yes. Alright, cool. So all I need now is a right angle power cable. As you can sort of see, this one just sticks right out the back. Ideally, it's going to be able to go this way and then either out this hole, which I don't really want to do, or I can figure something else out. I don't know. We'll get there when the time comes. So it's as close as I can get it to closing right now. But in this state, I think we can still at least benchmark it. See if our CPU gets to hot lava temperature. Oh yeah, the touchscreen works. Touchscreen works great. The touchscreen is only connected over USB, so it's really not that big of a deal. We got very lucky. Alright, time to play extreme. Okay, so we are a little tiny bit under average, but have you seen the setup? Your CPU temperature will peak at, oh, dude, our CPU temperature peaked at, what? Our CPU temperature peaked, I can't even, I'd love to tell you, with the power afforded by the Dirty Cherry keyboard, CPU temperature peaked around 92